Breaking news! Every team in the NFL is always looking for the next breakout star, the hidden gem who explodes onto the scene and rewrites expectations. And right now, there's one name quietly making waves behind the scenes in Allen Park, a name that just might shake up the entire offensive line conversation in Detroit. But before we move on, make sure you hit that like button if you're a true Lions fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you feel like it, comment, "Go Lions," so we know you're riding with us all season long. Giovanni Manu. That's the name you need to keep on your radar. Last year, many fans didn't even get to see him on the field. Drafted in the 4th round in 2023, Manu was viewed by some as a raw project, a 6 feet 8 inches, 355-pound athletic freak with sky-high potential but a long road ahead. He was essentially redshirted his rookie season, a year focused entirely on development. But now, heading into year 2, the tone around him inside the Lions building has changed drastically. Brad Holmes didn't hold back when asked about Manu's growth. If you watched practice film from OTAs last year and compared it to what he's doing now, Holmes says it's night and day. That's a huge statement, and the credit, he emphasizes, goes to offensive line coach Hank Fraley, who, despite off-season rumors, is still with the team. Fraley's ability to develop young talent is no secret among players, and Manu appears to be the latest beneficiary. Fans caught a glimpse of Manu's off-season grind when he posted a workout video showing impressive strength and core stability. He was casually deadlifting with extra core challenge by adding a forward plate, something most 300-pound linemen don't even attempt. It wasn't flashy, but it screamed athleticism. The Lions aren't just working with a big body, they're molding a monster. Now, let's be honest, Manu was so raw last year that there were legitimate concerns. He looked lost at times and wasn't close to ready for NFL snaps. But the Lions weren't panicking. They knew this was a long-term play. And that's where this gets exciting. If Manu can just be serviceable, the Lions' O-line depth, already among the league's best, becomes nearly unshakable. He's being compared to Dan Skipper in terms of role, but make no mistake, Manu is younger, far more athletic, and just as massive. And we've seen what the Lions can do with a versatile swing tackle who can slot in at guard if needed. Remember the blueprint the Eagles used with players like Mailata and how they converted him from project to starter? There's a sense that Manu could follow that path. The current depth chart now includes new additions like Tate Ratledge and Miles Frazier, both promising interior linemen, along with veterans like Graham Glasgow. Add in Christian Mahogany, who now gets a full offseason to integrate, and the depth is real. Last year, Glasgow was starting. This year, he might be one of 3 solid backups behind a healthy line that features Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, P.I. Sewell, and Ratledge. And yet, it's Manu's progress that might be the biggest swing factor. If he can take on that Dan Skipper-type swing role and elevate it with his raw tools, the Lions' offensive front becomes one of the most flexible and physically dominant in the league. And that brings us to the bigger picture. Health permitting, this unit could anchor a 15-win team again. Last year's offensive line was quietly the bedrock of success, keeping Jared Goff upright, dominating in the run game, and letting Ben Johnson unleash his playbook. Speaking of Johnson, it's no secret he's more of a home run guy than a tush-push fan. But don't overlook the value of that short yardage play staying legal. The Lions excelled at pushing backs like David Montgomery across the goal line last year, with linemen driving defenders back 7 or 8 yards downfield. That kind of trench dominance isn't possible without versatile, powerful depth, and that's where Manu could quietly make his mark. When you take a closer look at the Lions' offensive blueprint, it's clear that Manu's potential integration into the lineup is less about desperation and more about calculated investment finally maturing. This isn't a situation where the team is hoping a backup suddenly becomes a miracle starter. Instead, it's about positioning Manu to thrive in a controlled, supportive environment where his freakish athleticism can be weaponized with precision. Let's think strategically. Imagine you're Ben Johnson designing a goal line package or a heavy set for a late-game drive. Now imagine plugging in Manu, 6 feet 8 inches, 355, with a 7-foot wingspan and surprising foot quickness. Whether it's a tackle or as a 6th lineman eligible for motion, that kind of size and mobility changes the geometry of the field. It forces defenses to adjust, even if Manu never touches the ball. And if Manu can play both guard and tackle, as hinted during last year's training camp, then he becomes a Swiss Army knife of sorts. Think about how rare it is to find players who can swing across the line and not lose a step athletically. The Lions coaching staff already sees him as more than a reserve. They see a chess piece, maybe not yet refined, but undeniably unique. And that's part of why Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have shown such restraint and patience. They didn't rush Manu into a situation he wasn't ready for. They took heat from some fans and analysts who questioned the fourth-round pick. But now, 12 months later, that vision is beginning to come into focus. And Manu's emergence would do more than just solidify the offensive line. It would create a ripple effect across the roster. With viable backups at every position, Tate Ratledge, Miles Frazier, Graham Glasgow, Christian Mahogany, and now potentially Manu, the Lions are uniquely insulated against the kind of injuries that can derail a playoff push. Last season's luck with O-line health can't be banked on again, so building depth that can actually hold its own is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Consider this, if Manu is ready and can step into the Dan Skipper role or better, that frees the Lions to be more aggressive in their play calling. They can overload one side, bring in unbalanced lines, or run power sets with confidence. It allows the run game to flourish even when starters need rest or go down. And that's not even touching on the impact on special teams, where size and strength could give the Lions a dominant presence on field goal protection or punt teams. But of course, all of this is contingent on one crucial detail, whether Manu is actually ready when it counts. And this is where Lions fans find themselves at a crossroads of hope and skepticism. We've seen project players before. Some, like Penei Sewell, accelerate quickly into elite status. Others, like Levi Onwuzurike or Ifeatu Melifonwu, battle inconsistency and injuries. The worry for fans is always the same. Will this guy just become another what-if story? What gives hope in Manu's case is the consistent messaging from inside the building. Brad Holmes doesn't make bold statements lightly, and his night and day remark carries weight. Hank Fraley's continued presence is another major plus. This coaching staff knows how to get the best out of their linemen. And Manu's work ethic, evident in his off-season training, suggests he's not coasting or content being a practice squad warrior. In truth, the only thing standing between Manu and meaningful NFL reps is the mental side of the game, recognizing schemes, maintaining technique, reacting under pressure. Physically, he's already there. That's what makes this storyline so compelling for Lions fans. We're not waiting to see if he can lift the weights or move his feet. We're watching to see if the game slows down enough for him to unleash all that potential when it matters most. And make no mistake, if Giovanni Manu becomes even a rotational contributor this season, the Lions' offensive identity gets a massive boost. The difference between a good offensive line and a great one is often one backup away. Manu could be that guy, the difference maker that turns drives into touchdowns and keeps this team in control of every trench battle. So now the question goes to you, do you believe Giovanni Manu will rise to the occasion this year? Is he the next breakout name on this stacked offensive line? Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more exclusive Lions coverage. And if you haven't already, check out the videos on screen right now for more deep dives into Detroit's 2025 roster. Giovanni Manu might be the biggest wild card on the Lions' offensive line this year. After spending 2023 developing behind the scenes, his progress has been described as night and day by Brad Holmes. With his elite size and surprising athleticism, Manu could be the versatile depth piece Detroit needs to dominate late in the season. If he's ready, this line goes from great to unstoppable. Will he take that leap in 2025?